What's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. We're going to talk about questions and answers. Got a bunch of them. I've been typing replies back to people, but I believe these questions will also help you. A lot of people in the same situation. Do me a favor, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to it. I have great information. All of my information is created by me. This is stuff that we do every day. Also, please like the video and hit the notification bell so we can help this channel grow and be able to help more people like you. Question number one was an individual said, what is the fastest way to repair their credit? Should they go to CPN route, which is where you get like a different number to replace well, not to even replace, it's just a number that you can use that's like a social security number. Most of the time, those are really supposed to be used for people who came to our country and were not born here. They use CPNs or TIN numbers. And then also people that have been victims of either severe ID theft or domestic violence, so they can't be tracked. They will get different numbers. I always say that you should not do that route. This is just from me, what I would do, and what I had to do for myself when I had problems with my credit is that you need to just, hunker down, get your credit reports, which there's a link here to get your credit reports. Look at what you have to go up against, and make a decision that you're going to get it accomplished. Credit repair can be done in so many different ways. It's like a Rubik's Cube, several different combinations to get to the same place. So, no, I do not suggest doing that. I suggest getting your reports, looking at what needs to be done, and doing it. And the strategy, just to be very quick and easy, strategy that I use is you validate, and then you move to discounted settlements for stuff that is validated. Next question here. Have a loan since 2008, still had a car since the pandemic. I was not able to make the full high payments on the car. Now my car is just as a charge off. This must be someone that was dealing with a Santander loan. And with any car loan, what they're going to do is that they're going to put the car into a charge off status, and then they're going to try to come and get the vehicle. And when they put it in a charge off status, it does not mean that the debt goes away. A lot of people get that confused. It does not mean the debt goes away. It just means that they took it off the books because they can't say that your car is a good asset for the company, that your car payment, that you're making the payments on time, that's an asset for the company. It has actually became liability for the company because it's a non-performing loan. So that's all that means. They've charged it off and now they're working through the process. Usually the process is going to be like this. They're going to try to repossess the car, then they're going to sell the car at auction, and they're going to try to come after you for the remaining balance of that vehicle. Uh, Here's another one. Person moved across the country to several states. They have a debt collector that is trying to collect a debt from them, and they're asking, well, what state can they use for the statute of limitations? And if you're not aware of how the statute of limitations works, every state has a different statute of limitations for being able to collect the debt. And what I always tell people to do is number one, look at where were you living when the debt was originated, and if that state benefits you the most with getting out of paying the debt legally due to the statute of limitations, notify that debt collector of that. If you're living in another state now, then use that state. All you're doing is you're just trying to see if they're going to accept it. If they don't accept it, then you're just moving to the next phase, which is to do a debt validation. And before I move forward, I have my free letters where it has a cease and desist if a debt collector is trying to collect an old debt from you, statute of limitations letter, and a debt validation letter. Those links are below this video. All right, the next one that we have here Uh, statute of limitations based on original debt or of service or the date that it was sold to the second or third collection company. No, it is based on when the charge off date was for that debt. That is with the original creditor. Debt collectors have nothing to do with where it goes with statute of limitations. Now, what can happen, and a lot of people make this mistake, is that you can accidentally um, reset the statute of limitations on a debt if you pay $1 to a debt collector, where they'll try to call you and say, hey, you had this debt, you owe $2,000. We know that you're going through some tough times. Can you just make a small payment right now and we'll let this, we'll work with you on this. When you do that, you're actually resetting the statute of limitation on that debt, because when you made that payment, you initiated a new contract, which will start over the statute of limitations. So don't do that. When you get a letter, a demand letter for a debt, step number one, go and look at the statute of limitations for them to even legally be able to collect the debt. And you can go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com, look on my blog, type in statute of limitations, it'll come up. When you know that, then you need to go and get your credit reports. Go to your3scores.com, get your credit reports, and look at the original charge-off date. This is not always on those free credit report type companies. This is something that you need to know. This is going to save you a lot of money if you do this right. Look at the original charge-off date. If it's past the original, if it's past the legal statute of limitations to be collected in your state, you just have to simply send them a SOL, statute of limitations notification letter. And I give you that letter below this video. Let's go here. Can you send a cease and desist letter after you've been served court papers from the court? No, you cannot, because it's working through the court system. Now, what you can do is still check to see if it's past the legal statute of limitations. But for it to get to court, there's several things that have happened. Number one, you disregarded the demand letter that they sent you. Number two, either you, or maybe you did respond to it. And number two, they were calling you trying to collect on it, and then they just decided to go ahead and serve you. So what you have to do now, you're in a different slot now, is you have to do a summons response to those questions that they're asking. Those questions are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They look like statements. It look like statements where they're saying you benefited from using the money, or you live at this in this county. Those are questions that you have to answer in your summons. And then when it gets to the part about the debt that's owed, that's where you'll have opportunity to uh, in a way build your defense against what the company is trying to do. Now, maybe you owe the debt. The worst case scenario in the end is that you're going to end up doing a settlement for the debt, and the judge will allow you time to do that. Or if it's a debt that you just know it was fresh, new, a year, maybe a year and a half, 2 years old, you know that it's not past statute of limitations, you can always reach out to the plaintiff attorney about doing a settlement. They're always willing to do that. Let's see here. Someone said they appreciate the willingness to give valuable information. I've been able to start disputing their own credit. Congratulations on that. And no longer to deal with vicious monsters like debt collectors. This is what they said. And I always talk about this. Don't be afraid to confront these, or to deal with these people. I don't want to say confront. If a debt collector is calling you, get the information mailed to you. Don't commit to anything. Don't say that the debt is yours. You're just asking to have all of the information so you can review it to see what would be your next steps. Let's see here. Someone said that they thought debt collectors only had a certain amount of time to try to come after you for the debt. They do, but there's some debt collectors that will take a chance and try to see if they can collect the debt, because they know that a large amount of people don't know their rights when it comes to debt collection and statute of limitations. Can a retail store close and claim bankruptcy and then hire someone to sue you for the debt they dismiss? If they dismiss the debt, they cannot. But what I'm thinking happened in your situation is that it potentially they what could have happened is that it was sold in a big batch, like I show in those videos, where they just package up a whole bunch of credit card debt or department store debt, and they sell it off to someone, and or the trustee sold it off to someone, the ones that were not dismissed, and they try to collect it. These are portfolio buyers, and they are in a way able to do it, but I think that if you challenged it, they would not continue to come after you if it was dismissed in a bankruptcy that they had. But some of the times they could do reorganization bankruptcy where the company is continuing. Maybe they closed all the stores and they're continuing online, which is something that is happening. A lot of companies are bought out of bankruptcy, and people are, companies are able to sell those portfolios and try to collect that money. But you have a real way of fighting that if you start with the first demand letter that you get, because if the company filed bankruptcy, there's a lot of records that they're not going to have access to, a lot of people are not going to have access to prove their claim against you. Here's another one here. What happens if you move and debt collector doesn't know your new address? They still could continue. What they have to do is prove, if it comes to trying to sue you in court, is just to prove service, to prove that they tried to do service in at the last known address. So you got to be careful with that. If a debt collector ever calls you, you should just tell them to send you the information, because you're going to have to deal with it one way or another. If they get a default judgment or if they get something and they throw it on your credit, you're going to have to be dealing with them that way anyway. So you might as well, before they get to doing that, and you know that they're trying to reach out to you, answer the phone. Don't answer any questions that are personal other than your address. Tell them to send it to you. They might have to verify a few things to make sure that they're legally sending it to the right person, which is something that they must do according to the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. They have to do that. So they might ask you some questions just to verify that you are the person, so they're not breaking the law, sending a demand letter to someone that should not be getting it. All right, so we're going to end the video here. I'm going to be making some more videos this week. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, because that is the way that we do it. I know other companies do it other ways. This is the way we do it. If you believe that you can, if you watch that video and you can work with us that way, we invite you to sign up. If not, please choose another company. If you don't have your credit reports and your scores, please go to the website your3scores.com. Get your credit reports, review them, understand everything about them. I have a video here on YouTube on how to read your credit reports. You need to be educated on that. If you need the cease and desist letter for debt collectors, or the statute of limitations letter for debt collectors, or the debt validation letter for debt collectors, they're all below this video. All of the links are below here. So please subscribe to the channel. Please like this video. Please hit the notification bell to get notified of new videos. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com. Thank you, and until next time.